Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Let's talk about our crushes and have some fun.
Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as kids and read them as adults and ruin them. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton, and with me as always is Bekah Eaton.
Hello.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm bringing energy to this because I want to get done.
I have that energy. I am excited to be almost done.
I'm excited to be done.
I haven't had energy since I was 8.
It's been so long.
Everything's a struggle.
Oh, we have a very special guest tonight, or today, depending on when you're listening to this, to help us read the rest of this book. And you'll recognize his voice and his name. It's one of our very good friends. We bring him back a lot on this podcast and our other podcast. And we were talking today about how we seem to bring him on this show a lot to finish a shitty book. And I think it's because he's such a reliably funny person that
he's a shit doctor.
Is that a phrase?
Is that a thing that you want to call
now.
our friend?
Well, shit Dr. John Walker, welcome to the show.
Right. Brought to you by Cologuard. I think that's what those services are called.
Hi, John.
Hi.
How's it
no,
going?
I think that I appreciate it's akin to being like, on talk shows, you would get a sense that a talk show has a guest that they call when somebody drops out, and it's somebody who can kind of come in and
A ringer.
they don't have to have anything to promote.
A
They can just-
ringer.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to say a ringer, but I always think of it as like someone who lives near the studio probably that can come down there. Like David Letterman used to have Tony Randall on all the time, and it was a thing like that.
Because he was
that
just
where
there.
it's- Yeah, it was like he's a guy who will come down and be. So yes, I'm happy to be the closer. We decided earlier that I'm a podcast garbage man. That I'll come in and help you take out the trash.
Oh, right. Because I was like, man, if you were single, that's a killer pickup line.
What, being the garbage
I'm
man?
a podcast garbage man. And by killer pickup line, I mean something that would never work.
That's something I would actually use.
I don't mean to get off on a tangent immediately on this episode, but
Yes, you
can you imagine how fucking great of a life it would be to be like,
Wealthy?
I live next. Well, wealthy goes without saying with what I'm about to say. Like to live so near where they tape a famous talk show, and also I guess be like friends with the host, and also be entertaining enough where it would, the likes of like David Letterman would just call you occasionally, be like, "Hey, so and so dropped out. Can you just put some pants on and be on the show tonight?" And be like, "Yeah."
Oh, I'd get so tired of that so fast.
I know.
I'd be like, again?
I don't like
just
putting
did
on
it.
pants when it's already evening and I'm not wearing hard pants. If
But
I'm wearing soft pants, I'm not putting hard pants back on.
That could even be
Not
your
for
dick,
Letterman
though.
or anybody.
We
Just,
talked
come
about
on in
that earlier.
pajamas.
We got hard pants and we got soft pants. Hard
Yeah.
pants are what you leave the house in. Soft pants are what you're in the house in. And hard pants are the worst.
They are.
I had hard pants on right before we started filming this.
We're filming this. It's just not for public consumption.
Yeah,
All right. I always
Well,
forget
no-
you pull clips.
Yeah.
I'll pull a little clip.
A little clip here and there.
I'll block you out with a big censor bar.
Thank you.
Every time
Now-
you pull a clip and post it, I'm always like, oh, I look terrible. Oh, but what I said was funny, so I look better.
Well, John will ask me if I watched it, and I'm like, of course I fucking didn't. I don't like seeing this little window here.
That's about how big it is on the phone.
Doesn't help. Let's read this piece of shit.
Okay,
so glad I trimmed
so
my beard for this.
we are finishing Sweet Valley High number 3, Playing with Fire. If you are just joining us, if you've been listening to any of this, if you've listened to our show in the past, you have been on this journey with us where we started off real hot and heavy with Sweet Valley High, akin to Jessica and Bruce Patman, and we are now cooling off on it considerably.
Now I'm just picturing someone that is like a frequent listener, but is a diehard Sweet Valley fan enough that they want to skip our banter at the beginning to get into the meat and potatoes of the book.
If that's anybody, that's Christine.
Yeah, I was going to say, we know that person.
That's
We
our friend
know her.
Christine.
And they're just like flicking their phone forward, like, I don't give a shit about
God,
this.
Yeah.
Get to
shut
the
the fuck
SVU.
the next time well, I don't even know. Like, I don't know if we're gonna go back to SVU or if it'll just be quite a long time. But we tried to get Christine on one of the last times we were reading Sweet Valley High, and it's impossible to get our schedules lined up because she lives in California. But Christine, if you're listening, we miss you, and we want you to be on an episode again where we talk about teenage drama. She's quite an expert,
And she's our resident SVU expert. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so last time on Sweet Valley High, number 3, Playing with Fire, some dumb drama happened. Basically, there was a fight among bandmates with the droids. The droids were, like, practicing, and Elizabeth went over there to write an article for the Eyes and Ears column, and basically, like, everyone's being, like, kind of shitty to each other in the band.
Trouble in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise. They're going through some real growing pains. I don't know enough about bands to, like, equate them to, like, a real life one. Like, oh, it's just like Fleetwood Mac when such and such happened.
It's not like Fleetwood Mac. That is a band with very specific drama.
Well, we don't know who's fucking who in that
droid.
band.
And cocaine.
What was the Fleetwood? Oh, they were fucking each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of them were just
I
constantly.
mean, it's also probably most bands.
Well, probably. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The droids drama was like their agent was talking to one person instead of the other person, and they were
Right.
all being passive aggressive about it.
Yeah. And then on the other side of drama, we had Jessica enacting an extremely complicated plan to cheat on a test, basically because she's been shirking her school duties. So she convinced Robin Wilson to steal the test that they were going to have and put it in Emily's locker, Emily, who is in the droids. And then she convinced Emily to take the stolen test so that Emily could ace it, so that Emily,
So
that Jessica
could cheat off of
could
Emily's
cheat off of
test.
Emily, and then Emily had like a crisis of conscience.
Definitely a plan a teenager would come up with.
No, it's not, because the plan a teenager would come up with is I will steal that test so I can pass it.
I feel like you didn't pick up on my sarcasm.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't.
That's why I said it in this voice.
Yeah, I don't
You've been
get.
sarcastic this whole time?
Everything out of my mouth.
Shit.
I just don't get why Jessica
A
involved
long
two
time,
separate
man.
people.
I finally get it.
That shit was just... oh. I loved it.
It was just a bad plan.
It was a bad plan.
Yeah.
We gotta start reading.
We gotta start reading. Okay. All right. Let's.
So what would you say are the overhanging threads and themes that we're going to find out about in the last 20% of this thing?
So
I think
yeah,
Bruce bad, Jessica punishes him.
Oh.
Bruce
bad.
bad.
Bruce bad.
Bruce
bad.
bad. Jessica punish.
Yeah, I feel like that sums it up.
Well, and Emily was confessing to Elizabeth how she cheated on that test and felt really guilty. And Elizabeth was like, "You should go tell the teacher. You'll feel better in your conscience, and he'll forgive you." So that's still hanging there.
Do you think it's gonna come back and like bite Jessica in the ass?
I have no idea. Jessica
I don't remember.
seems to get away with everything all the time, always.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
I don't
though
remember.
she should be in jail for some of the things she's done. So
Did
probably
Elizabeth
not.
like immediately pick up that it was Jessica's plan? I don't remember.
I don't
if
think
that
so.
happened or not.
I don't think.
I don't think Emily told her Jessica was involved.
Yeah, I don't think she did either. I think she was just.
But
like cheating on that
even
test.
without that, if like Elizabeth was just like, "Oh, my Jessica sense is tingling,"
her
Yeah.
Jessica sense is probably tingling for like other horrible reasons currently. I don't know.
can't wait until Jessica starts like murdering homeless people
And Elizabeth is like dissolving their bodies in the bathroom. Like, I gotta get rid of the evidence for my sister.
Well, no, I think Elizabeth would try to catch her, but she just can never get there.
Ooh, now that's a show I'd watch.
Like, look, my twin's
No one
a serial
else?
killer, but
Well, no, I was just wondering, do we want it to be this additional thing where there's really only one of them? And so she's trying to catch her, but it's her. You know, so it's one of those, like, when she's in the mirror, she does the other person talking to her, you know, one of those
Like
types of
Gollum.
things.
Like there is
Yeah,
no
like
Jessica.
Gollum or
It's just
Green Goblin.
It's just a
Yeah.
fight club. We could keep going.
Keep going, there's lots of them.
and her parents just humor her with giving her
Right.
like 2 bedrooms.
Yeah. All right. Chapter 11.
Bankruptcy.
Thank you. The Sweet Valley High newspaper office was buzzing with the frenetic activity that was standard on the day before press time. Each of the page editors was stationed at his or her desk, equality, marking last-minute changes in the copy. Penny sat at a table in the front of the room talking with Mr. Collins about the upcoming issue. Elizabeth walked in with her latest Eyes and Ears column and waited until the faculty advisor was finished before approaching the Oracle's editor. "Excuse me, Penny. I have something for you." Penny grabbed a tissue and blew her nose.
Sorry about that. This cold is dragging on forever.
Yeah, your voice wasn't weird enough.
Yeah.
Make it weirder.
Quickly, she looked over the pages Elizabeth had dropped on her desk.
Great. By the way, I didn't have a chance to tell you before, but last week's column was very good as usual.
This was the opening Elizabeth was waiting for. The part I wrote, or the part you slipped in without telling me, you fucking backstabbing bitch?
What part, Liz?
Elizabeth felt her patience wearing thin. Don't play games with me too, Penny. You're not like that.
Jesus.
And you're not the type to go around accusing someone.
Penny shot back, reaching for another tissue.
Would you mind telling me what you're talking about?
You really don't know. Elizabeth pulled up a chair and sat down. Elizabeth pulled up a chair, swung it around backwards, and straddled it.
And said, "Let's rap."
Someone added an item to my column after I handed it in. Everyone around here denied doing it, so I'm assuming it must have been you. I'm sorry if I was wrong, but this reeks of an inside job.
Apologies accepted.
Penny sneezed.
Excuse me. I never tamper with other people's copy without good reason, and certainly not without telling them first. What's got you so upset?
I'm sorry about my voices.
It's fine. That's great. Elizabeth showed her the item about Bruce's road rally win. I forgot he did like a stupid little car race.
Oh, right.
Penny put it down and
I'm
laughed.
a good driver.
Oh, it's like a knife.
I'm sorry.
Um,
If it makes you feel any better, I peeked.
I know. You ought to know better than to think I'd give that creep any excess publicity, but I know someone who would. Turning toward the back of the room, she shouted as loudly as her hoarse voice would allow, "John Pfeiffer!" That's a fun name to yell.
John Pfeiffer.
Up here now! The sports editor squeezed his broad frame around a few empty chairs to the front desk. "What can I do for you, Chief?" he asked good-naturedly. "John," Penny began. "Let's get right to the point. Why did you tell me Liz wanted this item about Bruce Patman put into her column?" John looked at Penny, then at Elizabeth, then at the floor. He was caught in a lie. There was no way out but the truth. "Bruce is always getting on my case about not featuring him enough in the paper, so I thought I'd do him a favor and drop this in. I didn't have any more room on the sports page, and I didn't think Liz would mind." "Well, I did," Elizabeth said.
Is all of his money not enough? Like he's got to be in the paper?
He
No.
has to be in the
Paper.
school paper for driving his car real fast.
People with a lot of money, it's never enough.
That's true.
Yeah. John smiled ruefully. So did Bruce, as it turns out. He had a fit when he read that. He turned to Penny. "Are you through with me now?" "For the moment." "John, wait a minute." Elizabeth pulled him over to the wall next to the blackboard. "You say Bruce was the one driving his car?" "Of course. You don't think he'd let anyone else behind the wheel, do you?" Elizabeth had doubted that he would, but John had confirmed her secret fear. Was anyone in the car with him? She almost hated to hear the answer. Yes, his navigator. "Who was it?" Elizabeth pressed on. Like someone with a map?
Right.
While he's
Or just
racing?
left here,
Yeah, I was just going to say, like,
Then-
turn right.
left here, then left here.
Yeah.
Just keep going left.
It's all left.
Pretty sure if you keep going left, you're good.
Who was it? Elizabeth pressed on. John suspected he'd said too much. He looked at the floor again. "I don't know." "You don't know?
The floor, my
Or
old
you
friend.
can't tell me. Which is it, John?" There was a long moment before he slowly raised his eyes to meet Elizabeth's. "I can't tell you," he admitted.
What? He was riding with the devil.
Thanks, John. Elizabeth heaved a sigh. That's all I needed to know. Sometime later. Elizabeth went over the conversation with John 100 times in her head as she sat in her room that evening. Actually, it was what John hadn't said that had her so concerned. She had assumed all along that Bruce was at that road rally no matter what he had told Jessica, but she hadn't considered the possibility that he was there with someone else. She had no idea who it might be, but from John's reluctance to talk, she was sure it was another girl. The road rally incident was her proof that that she'd been right all along, that Bruce was indeed not to be trusted. Ahem. Though she'd hoped for something like this to happen, her unhappiness was overwhelming. It would only be a matter of time before Jessica learned the truth about her beloved Bruce, and when she fell, she was going to fall very hard. She might even kill the guy. Elizabeth tried to think of a way to save her sister from that hurt, and save Bruce from an inevitable death, but realized she was the wrong one to break the news. Not only wouldn't Jessica believe her, but if Elizabeth dared suggest that her beloved Bruce was less than the god Jessica thought he was, her sister was certain to shut her out of her life again. A knock on Elizabeth's door interrupted her thoughts. "Liz, may I come in?" Jessica. Elizabeth couldn't help but smile at the irony. Before Bruce came along, Jessica never thought of knocking first, though Elizabeth had often asked her to. Sure, the door's open.
What did Bruce teach her how to knock?
Well, he made her more meek. Well,
He taught her manners and also how to completely subvert her own personality for his.
Yeah.
But that's
also
been a theme.
But also manners. Maybe those will stick. Just kidding. They won't.
Bruce makes her knock on something before she speaks.
Right.
Before she
Yeah.
does
If
anything.
she's
It's a whole, yeah.
She goes
Papa
like,
Bruce,
and he's
pay
like,
attention to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But no, that's been a theme like throughout the whole book, is that like she is not herself because of him. So anyway, she had a dress over one arm. "Look what I bought today." She held it up. It was a black creepy de sheen dress with a low cut front and back.
Wow.
Isn't it beautiful?
I'm so glad you did what everyone was thinking.
Let's all try it. Let's all try it. Does
Yeah.
anyone have a good French pronunciation?
Crepe de chine?
Crêpe de chien. I think you got to throw a little. It's a crêpe de chien. I don't know. Anyway,
Hold on, I want to go. Creme de-
That was beautiful.
This is perfect
Yes.
practice for archery.
We're getting you ready. It's immersion.
All right. Very sophisticated. What's the occasion? Just the biggest night of the year. Bruce's birthday. Next weekend. Liz, it's going to be so special. Jessica cooed.
Who was cooing?
Like a quail?
Yeah, like a pigeon.
little pigeon cooing, yeah. With that dress, I wouldn't be surprised. Bruce promised me a night to remember, just the two of us. We'll be starting off with a very quiet, very intimate dinner at the country club, and then after that, who knows?
I think
What?
I do.
Elizabeth gasped. She'd known for days that Bruce had invited half the school to a big bash in his honor at the country club. She also knew that he'd asked that it be a surprise for Jessica, a special secret treat.
His birthday party?
Wait.
That's so thoughtful of him.
Wait. So
Elizabeth
his
had-
birthday party is a surprise for Jessica?
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's so great. A special secret treat.
A special secret treat. You know, your friend's birthday.
It's
not
my
the way
dick!
Well, no, so she's going in thinking like, ooh, we're gonna like fuck.
Yeah.
And then
Like
everyone's
romantic
gonna be
dinner.
there, yeah.
Right. What a ripoff.
Watch it.
Elizabeth had been astonished that Bruce was going out of his way to have Jessica share in his birthday glory. Now she realized the little bit of credit she'd given him was too much. This was just the easiest way for Bruce to back out of his promise for an intimate evening for two, by simply not telling Jessica until it was too late.
Why would he want to back out of that?
Right? He's a boy. He's a teenage boy. Like,
I get not
You know, in
wanting
the
to
80s,
spend
there was a lot of talk
time
of
with her,
cooties.
but... Of cooties.
Yeah.
it's been going around.
Jessica was sure to find out, and then what? It was beyond belief that he could promise her sister a romantic night alone and then spring a cast of thousands on her.
Thousands?
This is a
Jesus
big-
Christ.
This is a big
is
bash.
this school?
They said big bash.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I know you're surprised, Jessica said, misinterpreting her sister's stunned expression. You've probably been thinking that Bruce and I haven't been seeing each other every night, which sort of that since Bruce and I haven't been seeing each other every night, rather, which sort of cooled off. But just the opposite has happened, bitch. In fact, her eyes widened. I have a feeling Bruce wants to get more serious with me. I have a feeling I want to do another.
He said
reading of
we
that.
need to talk.
I have a feeling Bruce wants to get more serious with me. I don't believe it. Believe what you will, Jessica said. But wait and see. He said he has a big surprise planned for me, and I can't wait. Elizabeth had that dreadful feeling that Bruce's surprise was going to lead to Jessica's heartbreak. Jess, there's something Elizabeth was cut short by another knock on the door. There's lots of knocking
So
going
many
on.
knocks.
Come on in, Jessica called. I don't know why she's whispering. Come on in, Jessica called.
Quick.
It's open. It was Kara. Are we doing Kara or Kara?
Kara is what we've done.
It was Kara. Hope you don't mind my barging in, Liz. Of course she doesn't, Jessica cut in. You're just in time to see the dress I got for Bruce's birthday. She held it up against her body.
Gross.
It's beautiful, Kara said, trying to suppress her feelings. Bruce will love it. She gave her friend a big hug. Jessica was pleased with Kara's reaction. We'll leave you alone with your books, Les. Kara and I are going downstairs. She's going to help me figure out how to make a very special birthday cake for a very special boy. It's Bruce. Bruce's
Hope they
birthday.
can figure that mystery out.
It says here that eggs go in it, but that's not right.
This can't be right.
It's just as well I keep my mouth shut, Elizabeth thought after they left. Jessica would never have believed me.
I'm
Sometime
starting to feel.
later.
I'm starting to feel like Jessica's really playing with fire.
Sometime later.
Hey, Chris, that's the name of the book.
Oh, is it? Oh, that
Yeah.
fits so
Oh,
perfectly.
we're jumping ahead, I think, a lot?
What do you mean? Oh.
How could he do this to me? Jessica fumed inwardly. Never had anyone humiliated her so deeply. And she had gone to so much trouble to make sure that everything would go smoothly.
Oh. I read ahead. It's
All
not the party.
Okay. All through
I
chemistry
can't
class.
not read ahead. I'm sorry.
She glared at the big red F and the words "see me" scrawled across the top of her last test, totally ignoring Mr. Russo's lecture on solubility. She tried to figure out
Never do
what
that.
had gone wrong, but now she'll never know how to put solid into liquid.
Is that what solubility is?
I think so, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I never took chemistry.
The plan had been so perfect. Convoluted, but perfect. Emily had done her part, right down to giving Jessica the thumbs up sign right before the test.
That was key. That was the key part of the plan.
No one noticed it. That left only one other possibility. Robin had messed up the papers when she had swiped the test and left a trail of evidence a mile wide. Jessica sighed in disgust. She knew she shouldn't have trusted Robin with such a serious mission. The girl couldn't do anything right.
She's
There's
from
only-
Orc, for Christ's sake.
There was only one thing Jessica could do. Tell Russo that Robin had stolen the test. But right before class ended, she realized she couldn't do that. Not if she wanted Bruce. Once Robin's back was to the wall, Jessica was sure she'd blab everything to Russo, including Bruce's part in the plan. Bruce had a part in the
What
plan?
was his
I don't remember.
It was probably his fucking idea.
I think it was his idea. I
God.
think he knew like what drawer or whatever the test was in.
Gotcha.
These kids are really playing with fire.
And if that happened...
I wish I had a drink to take a sip of every time you said that.
And if that happened, Jessica
Well,
concluded...
once it's your turn to read, then Jonathan will go
That's
make
true.
it.
I was just thinking, I'm going to go get us drinks in a second because mine's empty, and I need it to get through this bullshit. If that happened, Jessica concluded, Bruce would never forgive her. For once in her life, she saw no way out of her predicament but the truth, meaning every other time in her life she fucking lied. at least partially. So she's only going to lie a little bit, yeah. She would say she got the answers by looking at Emily's test paper, steeling herself to accept her punishment. She went up to the chemistry teacher after class, meekly putting the test paper on his desk.
I'd like to explain, Mr. Russo. You failed the test, Jessica, he said sternly. There's no explanation for lack of preparation. Not in this class. Jessica pursed her lips. You're right, Mr. Russo, she began apologetically. I never should have thought I could have gotten away with it. There's no excuse for not studying, Jessica, Mr. Russo lectured. This is the second test in a row you've failed. If your grades don't pick up in a big way, you're looking at an F for the entire term. Jessica couldn't believe her ears. Russo didn't know she'd copied the answers from Emily. Still appropriately apologetic, she changed gears, opting for another version of the truth. I wanted to do well in chemistry, really I do, but I have so much trouble understanding it. And I feel a lot of pressure from home, too. My parents really want me to succeed. If you were having trouble, you should have come to me for help earlier. There's still time for you to pass the course, but it's going to take a lot of work. You'll have to pass the rest of the tests this term and do several special assignments. Come see me after class tomorrow and I'll have them ready for you. Outside in the hallway a few minutes later, Jessica caught up with Emily. Pinning the petite girl up against the cinderblock wall. Ooh. She looked down at her and hissed, You double-crossed me, Mayor.
Sploosh.
No, I didn't, Jessica, Emily said defiantly. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and tell Russo I had the test if you want, but it won't make a difference. He already knows. Jessica's eyes nearly popped out. He does? You don't have to worry. I didn't tell him about you, and I won't. But I couldn't live with having cheated, so I told him. He yelled a lot and gave me detention and a pile of special assignments, but crazy as it sounds, I feel relieved. I'm confused. Okay, I guess they'll get to it.
That still doesn't explain why I flunked. What happened? I didn't do well either. At the last minute, Russo made some changes in the test and printed up a whole new batch of them. He said this test was too much like last year's. If you ask me, Jessica, you're lucky he didn't notice you made the same mistakes I made. Even though she realized she'd gotten off easy, Jessica was still furious at lunchtime as she headed for the cafeteria. She was no better off now than she'd been when she'd first schemed to get the test answers, and now she had a pile of work to do on top of everything else. This wasn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Only Bruce could tear her mind away from this predicament, and Jessica found him sitting at a table on the patio with his tennis teammates, Tom McKay and John Pfeiffer. She could hear him leading the laughter. Bruce had been grouchy when he had spoken with her the night before, and she was glad to see he was in better spirits. Walking softly so Bruce wouldn't hear her, he had brought up before how loudly she walked. Jessica made her way to the table, stopping directly behind him. Putting her tray down on a nearby table, she reached over his neck and gave him a big hug. Hi there, she purred. Bruce nonchalantly released her grip on him.
Bruce
Not now,
put his hand on her face and pushed her away.
Not now, babe. So, John, he continued as if she weren't there, I'm behind this guy, 1540, and he's sure he's going to get me on my next serve, but I'm not going to let him get away with it. So I blow him off the court with 3 straight aces. You should have seen his face. Bruce, can I talk to you for a minute? Can it wait, Jess? I'm busy.
Just dump her.
But Bruce,
I don't know.
It's about chemistry, and you still hung up on that junk, Jess? I'm bored with it. Abruptly, he turned back to his
Jessica,
friends.
can't you see? It's between the It's about the chemistry between you and Bruce.
Can't you see?
Abruptly, he turned back to his friends. So then it's his turn to serve, and he's real nervous now. Jessica didn't hear the rest of what Bruce was saying.
Good story.
Her mind was too focused on the anger rising inside her and Bruce's eventual demise. She was sure, had the situation been reversed, she would have listened sympathetically to Bruce's problem.
You can just finish.
Or I was going to say, John will do this and the next page.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me a little extra work, eh? I get it.
That's what you're here for.
Bring the new
monkey.
guy in. He'll do it.
Be funny!
Rather than being the podcast garbage man, I could also be like the podcast fixer. Like Harvey Keitel's character in Pulp
But
Fiction.
see,
I could be like the
that's
wolf.
exactly what I.
The wolf, yeah.
Yeah. Podcast garbage man is.
I'm kind of both, though.
Yeah, I think you're the fixer of.
Wasn't
podcasts.
the wolf a garbage man though?
You're
sorts.
coming in at the end to clean this up.
Yes. I'm underdressed if I'm supposed to be him.
But you're overdressed for a garbage man. So it evens
Perhaps.
out.
I don't know. They've got,
They
got
make
nice
a
gear.
lot of money. Garbage
Yeah.
men get a lot of bad rap. But
Good guys. Good guys.
I
they do
know.
very
I
well.
wasn't trying to be mean to garbage men.
No, I know you weren't. I think we all just.
I know you weren't,
Yes.
but
I
it
don't
could
think
be taken
I didn't think
that
you were
way.
being mean about garbage men. They literally wear overalls and they're covered in garbage.
I mean, I know you. I know you don't have a grudge against garbage
Jesus
men.
Christ.
I know that you don't have like some sort of like sordid secret in your past where a garbage man wronged you. But the listener
something-
doesn't. And we have to
Yeah.
clarify that for them. You have to be thinking of the listener, Bekah. God.
What is happening?
I'm so sorry. That was just... I felt like I was on a roll and I just kept going. I apologize. I apologize to the listener as well because I put them first, Bekah. So
I've
dumb.
got nothing
so
in
dumb.
rebuttal.
It's a dumb thing I did.
I was only suggesting that my T-shirt's not that nice, and that probably most garbage men have a better, more expensive garment on than the one I'm wearing.
Well, not when they're at work.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this more.
Nice one. Something breathable. All right. Still, she insisted to herself in an effort to calm down. She did interrupt his conversation. That in itself was rude, but her anger returned moments later in full force. It was rude, but not that rude. Swiftly, Jessica turned to face Bruce with her fury, but one long look at his rugged, handsome face, and she chose to contain
Can't be
herself.
rugged.
I'll
Right.
get over
Of
it, she
everything
thought.
we know
He
about
plays
him,
tennis.
yeah, rugged could not be the word.
Unless he's John McEnroe.
I don't know if I'd call
I don't
him
even know if I'd
rugged,
call it.
just
He's got a rugged
weathered.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, tennis rugged just
The
means
bad
that
boy
you
of
cuss at
tennis.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You just.
I mean,
slam
he
your
has to
racket.
Mean
be
and
like
sunburned.
John Hamm levels of handsome. Handsome.
Oh my god.
As
We can't
one
get
would
back
call
on
it.
John Hamm.
To make all this shit forgivable for her.
I'll get over it, she thought, sighing. I hope. 12. Jessica stood before the bathroom mirror, putting the finishing touches on her makeup. The lines she drew around her lips with her deep rose liner gave her lower lip the pouty look Bruce found so appealing. With her hair piled high on her head and her body poured into the tight black dress.
I need to know, did she fill in the rest of her lips? Because that's a horrible look. She had to have filled in the rest of her lips.
no, she just did a big line.
She just did
She just
dark red liner
outlined
and
her
this
lips.
flesh
That's all.
toned lip for
That's
the
all.
rest
Bruce
of
likes
it.
it that way.
Fuck.
Bruce likes me to look like a cartoon whore.
With her hair piled high on her head and her body poured into the tight black dress she'd bought especially for
Don't
that
say
night.
poured. She's like 16.
I know, that is gross.
It's
Jessica
what's
was
written.
seduction personified. Ooh. And she knew it. If this doesn't get Bruce's heart pumping, the guy has ice water for blood, she told her reflection.
I will give that boy a heart attack.
See, this is a scene where, like, the reflection, it would work out great if there was just one of them.
Right.
Tonight, she planned to go all out to make things between Bruce and her perfect again, and her outfit was guaranteed to get things off to a fast start. I'm not sure if that's what you want on a night of intimacy, but we'll just, leave
She's
that
like,
to
I'll
the
take what I
teens.
can get at this point.
Yeah.
She touches his shoulder and he goes, "Ooh, I'm sorry."
God damn it.
That was a fast start. After dabbing on a healthy amount of Bruce's favorite cologne in all the right places, she gathered the
Right up
half
there.
dozen gift boxes she had so carefully wrapped
She
and
dabbed
carried.
on the cologne that he wears?
It was Drakkar Noir.
It had to have been. It was the 80s.
He's like, the only thing I'm attracted to is myself.
You don't think it's a designer imposters that has like been used to like refill?
I mean, the
Ricard
smartest
Noir
thing
bottle.
she could do would be to show up dressed as him, and then he'd be like all over her.
Yeah.
This would be great. She should have poured herself into, a tennis outfit.
Should have poured herself into another relationship. Let's be honest here, girls. I'm drunk.
Like the best part of that was just like you punctuating taking a sip of your beer.
She gathered.
That's the
she
clip,
gathered
isn't it?
I was just thinking that
Oh,
too.
probably. Yep. What time is it?
It's 7:17. She gathered the half-dozen gift boxes she'd so carefully wrapped and carried them downstairs to the front hallway. Excited about the glorious night to come, Jessica waited for her boyfriend to arrive.
There's no
15
way I'm building
anxious
this
minutes
up
later.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So she knows it's his birthday, right? So she thinks they're going to go to a private, intimate thing, and she's going to give him all these gifts. So,
Private intimate. Also, she knows they're going to a country club.
right.
It's not like a little dimly lit restaurant. They're just gonna be surrounded by a bunch of 40-year-old white dudes who are drunk.
Like this podcast, like what Bekah's going through right now.
Oh no!
All right.
Getting close.
15 anxious minutes later, Bekah wondered why she agreed to this. 15 anxious minutes later, the black Porsche pulled up in front of the Wakefield house without even waiting for the beep of the horn. Jessica let herself out and ran as fast as she could to the car. "Hi, Bruce," she said, smiling. "Happy birthday." Bruce leaned across to the passenger side and opened the door. Jessica slid in, resting the packages on her lap. "These for me?" he asked offhandedly. "They're
How
all
is she
for
fitting
you."
6 boxes on
They've
her
got to be
lap?
They
small. Or
must be.
maybe
The,
it's like
the
a tiered
Wakefields have
stack,
very long
you know?
arms.
Right. They're known
Like
for it.
Slendermans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all for you, birthday boy. Great. Casually, he tossed them into the back of the car like a real fucking jerk.
One
That
at
wasn't
a
the
time.
reaction Jessica had expected. "Aren't you going to open them?" "Later." He kissed her lightly on the forehead. "In the meantime, let's have some fun." He kissed her again, this time straight and hard on the lips.
That's how you do it.
Gross.
Straight and hard on the lips. Jessica's carefully drawn pout was smudged. Oh no, her rose liner or whatever the fuck it was. And her
Maybe he got some into the rest of her lips.
he was like,
Maybe he made it look better.
he was like, "Come here, baby."
He's like, that looks ridiculous. I will help fix it with my own lips.
Her carefully drawn pout was smudged and her ego was bruised. She felt he could at least have said something about the way she looked before getting physical. "Aren't you going to say anything about my dress?" she asked. Bruce gave her a long, lingering once-over. Delicious, baby. But you're going to be a little overdressed for the party." "What party?" Jessica asked, astonished and disgusted by him calling her delicious. "That's the surprise I told you about. It's going to be great, baby. Lots of food, lots of music, everyone from school, thousands of them." "But I thought it was going to be just the two of us," Jessica whined. Her best feature, seeing her plans for a private celebration dissolve in the cool evening air. Bruce tapped the steering wheel and chuckled. "Oh, come on, Jess. I did it for you. You're the one who wanted to do more things with the gang. I told everyone not to tell you. I thought you'd be real happy. Besides, you didn't think I'd let my 18th birthday pass unnoticed, did you?"
Statutory alert! Statutory alert!
I still don't understand how this is a surprise for her in his mind.
do not either. I don't know.
It's because it's not. It's just for him.
It's because he's a dick.
But like, why have the ruse
Yeah.
of it being a surprise when he could have just said, "Fuck you, Jessica, I'm having a giant party," and she would have been like, "Okay, I'm
She'd be
sorry."
like, "Okay, I'm still gonna come and put all of my hopes on the line."
Yeah.
Like, in a different way.
I think it's just because he's an asshole and he gets off on hurting her.
He
Yeah.
just likes playing little tricks on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a rich white guy.
Yeah. "You said you wanted to spend it with me," she said softly, her lower lip beginning to tremble. "An intimate night, you promised." And that's exactly what we'll have, he said, leering.
Ooh.
After the party. Like, down at the beach, for instance, in all the
messy.
sand. Taking his right hand off the stick shift, he ran it down Jessica's half-covered thigh.
Gross.
Barf! Sometime later, the private dining room where Bruce's party was being held was already filled close to capacity by the time Bruce and Jessica arrived. Thousands of people. Here's the party boy! Ken Matthews shouted.
Oh, Ken.
Oh, Ken.
I love that guy.
The
He's just
chorus of Happy Birthday followed.
Happy
right vibe.
birthday.
Jessica sang along with the others as she watched Bruce beam in delight. He was clearly in his element, the star of the evening, and Jessica had the sickening feeling that he loved it more than any moment the two of them had ever shared. You're correct.
Oh, she's getting it now.
You're getting it. But she quickly put that out of her mind as Bruce
no.
led her over to a table near the empty band platform. Is it like
I
a
spoke too
sweetheart table?
soon. I thought that was the moment that she would be like, I will destroy this man.
Everyone puts their glasses
And,
and hits them with forks.
The best seat in the house, he told her, leaning over her chair. He added, I've got to make the rounds. Be back as soon as I can. As Bruce mingled with his guests, Jessica sat alone, trying her best to appear totally unconcerned with his absence. She took her lipstick out of her black satin evening purse and redrew the line on her lower lip. I am begging you to fill that in.
I'm glad that got resolved.
Yeah, me too.
I know.
was wondering.
But she couldn't spend all night fixing her makeup, and after a few minutes of examining the contents of her purse, she sat back and peered into the crowd impatiently.
What's in here? 20 tampons still? Yep. All right. Good.
She groaned inwardly when Robin Wilson cut through the crowd and headed for her table. Bruce really had invited everybody. Oh, Jessica, you look gorgeous, Robin gushed. Jessica couldn't force herself to return the compliment. Wearing a pink and white striped dress,
Jessica.
horizontal stripes no less, Robin
no.
looked like the poster girl for a cotton candy company. What are you doing here?
Which
Jessica
kind of
asked
stripes are
grumpily.
slimming?
Vertical.
Oh, Robin.
I couldn't believe it when Bruce invited me. He wanted me to come because I was your special friend. Isn't this place heaven? Everyone's here. There's too many things to react to.
Oh.
You can say that again, Jessica thought, staring at the table where Bruce was chattering with a few of the girls from the cheerleading squad. Did he still think of them as chicks with fat thighs, she wondered? I'm going to check out the food, Robin told her. I'll see you later.
Classic Robin.
Yes. Elizabeth arrived not too long afterward with Todd. Todd's barely been in this.
I know. Todd hasn't done
He's
anything.
just waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
She was shocked to see her sister sitting by herself. I've got to talk to her, she told Todd. Are you sure? The ice princess doesn't look like she wants to be bothered, Todd said. Oh, Todd, stop being hard on her, Elizabeth said. Just as gaslit in their relationship as Jessica is with Bruce.
I know.
Pointing to the buffet table near the
Todd's
window,
like,
she
"But,
remarked,
okay.
Look, there's Winston over by the hors d'oeuvres. Why don't you go keep him company? I'll be back in a minute. She gave him a quick kiss on the cheek before easing her way between the tables to her twin.
Jessica smiled warmly at her sister and admired the teal-blue cowl-necked dress. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean? Tell
That
me.
she had on.
I don't know what a cowl neck is. It's
What's a
just
cow
like,
neck?
It's like a loose, fabric-y neck. Like,
Oh.
like if a turtleneck was baggy.
Okay.
A stretched-out turtleneck. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of that wardrobe that I've made for Victoria in our sock puppet show. A lot of her stuff is like loose at the top.
Yeah, I guess. I don't remember the outfits that
So
well.
anyway.
It's been a while.
Jessica smiled warmly at her sister and admired the teal-blue cowl-neck dress she had on. You look great, Liz. It's a wonderful party, isn't it? Elizabeth was surprised to find Jessica in such a good mood. I guess it is, she managed to say. Yes, I told Bruce having a party for everyone was the only way to celebrate his birthday. It was great of you to try and keep it a surprise for me. Excuse me. You mean you knew about this party? Elizabeth was astonished. Well, not really, Jessica faltered. But I'm very happy about it. I am very happy about it. I love being with all my friends. Anyway, hold on. I'll redo the anyway. Anyway, more than anything, I wanted to look perfect for Bruce, and I think I did a pretty good job. Don't you agree? Elizabeth was near tears as she listened to Jessica trying to cover up for Bruce. She almost let loose with another angry tirade against her sister's selfish boyfriend, but she realized her words would only fall on deaf ears.
Do you also picture Jessica with like crazy eyes while she's saying all that?
Absolutely.
Like
Not
real
hard
crazy.
to picture. Where is Bruce anyway? She asked instead. You can't expect him to hang on my arm all night, not when he has all these guests to entertain,
Thousands.
Jessica answered defensively, scanning the room for him. Just then, the droids came bounding onto the stage and began tuning up, which is what everyone always wants to hear.
Yep.
There he is now, Jessica said excitedly. Elizabeth followed her sister's gaze. I hope you have a good time tonight, Jess,
Sure.
she said, hoping against hope that her worst fears about Bruce were unfounded. I've got to talk to Emily. See you later. After Emily finished adjusting her drum set, Elizabeth asked, What happened to your club date? I thought you were playing at the beach tonight. Canceled, Emily said, and from the expression on her face, she didn't seem upset at all. What happened?
Emily shook her head ruefully. We were duped. Tony never had any intention of leading us to the big time.
What? Tony.
I thought he was legitimate. Yeah, we thought so too. But it seems Guy didn't check hard enough into his background. I'm sorry, I can't maintain this gravity. I could never be an actor.
It's the only plot point that matters in this book.
I know, this is the only thing I actually care about.
I know, but I just can't be serious for more than 3 seconds of my fucking life. All right. Tony really did work at that management company he told us about, only they fired him about a month before he came to us for incompetence. He happened to know the guys who owned those 2 places we played at, but it turns out that music wasn't even the reason he got involved with us in the first place. Then what was? Elizabeth asked. Emily looked sheepishly at Elizabeth. He had the hots for Dana, she confided. For weeks he kept calling her and driving Guy nuts in the process, and we couldn't figure out why. Dana didn't say anything to us until the other day when he finally tried to score with her. She said no way and threw him out. We haven't heard from him since. You don't seem too broken up about it. Funny, isn't it? Emily said. We spent all that time working our tails off, and now that it's over, do you know what we're all feeling? Relief. Remember that day you came over to watch us rehearse and you thought you'd caught us on a bad day? It was like that every day. We were always on each other's nerves, criticizing every wrong note, every false move. It wasn't fun anymore. We talked it over afterward, and we all agreed that if that's what getting to the top is all about, then we're just not ready for it yet. We're better off hanging around Sweet Valley and playing at school and stuff like this party. So you're not disappointed? Sure, Emily said wistfully, from ruefully to wistfully in just 2 pages.
Oh, wow.
This Emily, she's got range.
I mean, teenagers, they got a lot
Sure.
of emotions.
That tracks.
Sure, how do you say that wistfully? Sure.
Sure.
I'm disappointed, but at least now I'll have the time to do those chemistry projects for Mr. Russo. Some consolation, huh? I guess that's show business, Elizabeth quipped. In the meantime, someone had noticed the empty chair next to Jessica. Winston.
Yes.
The best character.
He still cared deeply for her, and more than anything, he wanted her to be happy. Winston, why? You gotta stop, man. Knowing Jessica, he couldn't believe she could enjoy being by herself in the middle of a crowd. After helping himself to some punch, he meandered around the room trying to get up the courage to approach her. But
I imagine him going, I'm meandering, I'm meandering, I'm meandering, now
let's get
approach
some
her.
punching you. The droids had played several numbers, and the dance floor was packed with couples. The lady looks like she could use a dance partner. That couldn't have been a better line. Oh, man.
Did he tip his fedora when he said it?
Yes. Jessica turned away from the dancing area where she'd watched Bruce take the floor with Lila Fowler for the second time. Sorry, Win. I'm sitting this one out. I have been practicing a lot since the last time we danced, milady. Good for you, Win. There's always room for improvement. That's my line, he said, grinning.
Is it?
What?
Is that a callback?
I don't know. Actually, I'm okay, as long as I have space out there to do my stuff on the fast dances. Ooh, want to see?
I just imagine him like windmilling.
Yes.
Dancing like Mac from
Just
Always
be like,
Sunny.
whoa, whoa. Yeah. I'll watch, she said curtly. Come on, Jessica, he urged. I'll even throw in a few handstands and cartwheels. But I need you up there with me. What do you say? Just wouldn't dance? Sorry, when, she repeated. Bruce promised me the next dance. And this one's almost over. I think you're going to have to do your cartwheels solo. He remained undaunted. How about the one after that? Not tonight, and I think you'd better leave now, she whispered. Bruce is coming over here, and he's not going to like you talking to me. Well, excuse me for going near the big shot's property. See you around, Jessica. Thrusting his hands into his jacket pockets, Winston walked away in a huff. He sought out Elizabeth and Todd at the buffet table. Your sister's impossible, he grumbled to Elizabeth. Doesn't she realize he's ignoring her? I'm exhausted.
I'm just glad you got that page and not me.
Me too. Don't look... Oh,
You're broken. You're broken.
All you know is Winston
All I
now.
know is Winston. I'm just Winston.
You've been institutionalized.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. Oh, fuck. Don't look now, you two, Todd said. But the party boys suddenly remembered he came with a date. I am out of breath.
Rest, my child.
Just take it easy. Calm down.
Shut up. Just shut up.
Shut up. Bruce unbuttoned his shirt collar as he approached Jessica. Hey, baby, having a good time?
Stop calling her baby.
Her heart melted. The best, she purred. Now that you're here, have a seat. Bruce put his arm on her shoulder and gave it a little rub. Gee, I'm sorry, Jessica, but I promised the next dance to Caroline. You understand, don't you? Certainly, Bruce. I understand completely, she said with false sweetness. He did not pick up on because he's really fucking stupid. The rage she had felt when he ignored her problem with Mr. Russo began to return. What, she thought, is going on here? Bruce didn't ignore Jessica totally, however. During the last dance of the evening, a slow ballad, he held her tightly and nibbled at her ear.
Ew. Ew.
This is more like it, Jessica thought, her anger starting to subside. What do you say we blow this place? Bruce whispered. It's getting too formal for me.
So he ignored her literally the entire night. And then the last dance, he was like, come here. And then they danced, he's like...
Exactly, he made those sounds the whole time. Where to, Bruce? The beach? Everyone has to stop making those sounds. I hate it so much. He chuckled. I like the way you think, babe, but first I want to grab a bite at Guido's. The food here stinks. You're going to leave your own party? No, baby. I'm taking the party with me.
God, I hate this guy.
I hate him so much. I hope he drowns in the fucking ocean.
Let's add that part in, even if he doesn't.
Yeah,
Let's have our own
rewrite
fun.
the end of the book.
Yeah.
I'm ready whenever you are, she said, looking adoringly into his eyes. Less than 10 minutes later, the two of them were nestled in Bruce's Porsche, heading down the winding hilly road to Guido's Pizza Palace in the heart of town, a caravan of cars following them to the party's next location.
I want to eat at Guido's Pizza Palace. It sounds like a great place.
Awesome.
It does, really.
Let's all get in separate cars and then caravan down.
Yeah.
I just have an insatiable need to eat all pizza everywhere.
See, I didn't know it was a pizza palace. I just heard the name Guido's and I was like, I bet they make a killer sandwich.
A pizza palace. I'm still not over the fact that Pizza Planet from Toy Story isn't a real place.
Yeah. It's been a real
It
missed
has
opportunity.
affected me
Dream.
deeply as
25
a person.
years.
Chapter 13. Bruce's crowd took up an entire section of Guido's, a popular hangout on one of Sweet Valley's main streets. Jukebox music filled the room, background for the conversation dominated by none other than Bruce Patman.
What song do you think is playing on the jukebox?
What year is this?
Oh,
84, maybe?
I just died in
think
your
it's that
arms
early.
tonight. Must
God.
have been something Bruce said.
Oh, okay.
So next week, I'm taking the Black Beauty down to the Mojave for another road rally. She's
Ew.
running so well now, there's no way I can lose.
Oh shit, 83.
Oh, even earlier.
Yeah.
They're probably
Gee.
listening like the police.
Gee, Bruce,
It's
I'd love
Don't
to
Stand So Close
watch.
to Me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gee, Bruce, I'd love to watch, Jessica offered. Can I come? Sorry, baby. It's hot and dirty. You wouldn't like it. Brushing her aside, he turned to John, who was polishing off his third slice of pizza. Oh, a third? Like 3 is a lot? Say, buddy, you taking odds on the tennis regionals?
Oh my God.
I'd be a fool to bet on
Ooh,
anyone
it's
but
Cruel
you.
Summer by Bananarama. That's what I've decided is playing.
It's a cruel summer. Yes, absolutely.
John answered dryly.
Thank you for doing the legwork on that, Becca.
You're welcome. You have to put the
Bruce
song
is
in
going
now
to
for the
win.
background of this
Absolutely.
chapter.
For sure, Jessica declared. But she could have been talking to the air for all the attention she got from him. Minutes later, Elizabeth and Todd entered Guido's. Elizabeth looked at Jessica, who was obviously feeling left out, and wondered how much longer it would take before Jessica finally woke up and unleashed her wrathful fury on Bruce. The crafty old Jessica simply didn't exist anymore. Instead, a meek, compliant young lady had taken over and was staring worshipfully at Bruce. The
Like,
old
this
Jessica...
version of Jessica isn't good, but the old version of her was also terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a different kind of terrible, but it's not like the old version was a better person.
And she's still
Yeah.
crafty
This
with
version's-
the whole
yeah.
test heist.
I know.
I feel like Elizabeth is just like, like better the devil you know. Like, I'd rather have the old one
That's
Yeah.
fair.
than
This one's
than whatever
unpredictable.
than whatever
she's got,
this
like,
new monster is.
she's got like 16 years of figuring out how to deal with that one.
The old Jessica never would have let a boy walk all over her like this, Elizabeth thought, and no one, not even Bruce Patman, was worth the humiliation he was putting her through. Ken, you doing anything tomorrow? Bruce asked. Dad gave me a rifle I want to try out.
Ooh,
You
maybe he's
with a
gonna die in a
gun,
gun
Bruce?
accident.
Oh, that'd be great.
I have no idea who sang this, but you with a gun, Bruce? You sure you can shoot that thing?
Probably can.
Anyone can hit a bunch of clay saucers. It's a skeet gun. Tomorrow,
Oh,
Bruce. Jessica cut
Oh,
in.
skeet, motherfucker.
She felt him slipping away. I thought we had a date. Yes, that's Jessica's voice.
She is turning into Bruce.
Yeah.
You must have your days mixed up, Jessica. Oh, wait, that's still Bruce.
Oh my God.
You must have your
I
days
didn't know a
mixed
little
up,
goblin
Jessica.
walked in.
He said, still looking at Ken. So what do you
My
say,
name's
Ken?
Green Crop, Green Grorb.
What do you say, Ken? Tomorrow afternoon? Bruce looked at his watch. Whoops, gang, excuse me, but I've got to make a call. Be right back.
Whoops.
Gang.
I'm late to call my drug dealer. I'm almost out of Quaaludes.
Jessica studied her hands, tensely folded in her lap and looking like someone else's. When he returned a few minutes later,
I'm
Bruce was
shocked
wearing
that's
a...
not underlined.
You mean that the person who
on Kindle.
goes crazy with the
Oh,
highlighters or
yeah.
the underlining?
Yeah, because people like highlight shit on Kindle. And sometimes it's just like random things that are like pseudo.
I feel like the
Meaningful.
last thing we saw highlighted was just a remark about Robin being fat.
Oh, God.
Like, that's all it was, and like 50 people highlighted it.
Fucking
or
monsters.
something. Like, I need to remember this later, otherwise I'll forget she's fat. They're not going to keep reminding me.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that every line that she's in
Yeah.
has some reference to it. When he returned a few minutes later, Bruce was wearing a somber expression. Sorry, gang. The party's over for this boy. I just called home, and Mom told me my grandmummy's taking a turn for the worse. I've got to get back there.
That's
Bruce,
like
that's terrible.
that's like his go-to excuse.
Yeah,
isn't
his
it?
grandmother.
Yeah,
He's
he's
gonna
used that
go.
before.
He's gonna meet up with whoever side piece he has.
Probably Lila.
You don't think it's his grandmama?
No.
Bruce, that's terrible, Jessica offered quickly, aware of a vague insincerity she was feeling. Your grandmama's been having a very rough time lately. Yes, she has. I knew you'd feel for her. Listen, I'll take you home first. You don't have to do that, called out a voice from the next table. Bruce turned around and
that
faced
goblin
Elizabeth.
again.
Elizabeth the goblin, who continued, Todd and I will take Jessica home. After all, Bruce, she said,
under my bridge?
her voice thick with uncharacteristic sarcasm. I wouldn't want you to go so far out of your way. Elizabeth thought she saw Bruce sigh with relief. Thanks, Liz. It would make things a little easier for me, save me a little time. I'm sure it would, Bruce. Coming, Jessica. Before Jessica could protest, Elizabeth grabbed her by the arm and led her toward the exit. Jessica didn't even have a chance to give Bruce a goodnight kiss. After she led Jessica to the back seat of Todd's car, Elizabeth took Todd aside and whispered, I've got an idea you've got to help me with. Shoot.
They're gonna follow his
Another
ass.
scheme.
Oh, scheme. I want you to drive around for a half hour. Then I'm going to come up with an excuse so that we have to come back here. So I don't have a plan, but I will
Oh.
in 30 minutes.
Isn't that just a great way to
she's
say
gonna-
fuck off to somebody? Is to say, I want you, hey, I want you to go drive around for a half hour. That's just a great
Was he just trying to get
Also,
rid of her?
I think that's what Elizabeth thinks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Todd's gonna drive, but with the
Yeah.
two of them
Yeah.
to see if Bruce
also,
goes
I
back to the party.
I love the trope. I love the trope of like, I don't have a plan now, but I will by the time it matters.
Yeah.
And when a character actually says that, I'm always just like, oh, that's so good.
What? Was fucking who is this, Todd? What for?
Surfer.
Yeah. What for? I can't even do it. What for?
What for?
What for? Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, what for?
Waves.
Just do it. Jesus fucking Christ, Todd. For once in your life. If I'm right, the answer will be obvious. Todd shrugged. Okay. But agreed to go along with her plan. 30 minutes later. Nope. After a few silent minutes in the car.
A few silent minutes later.
Jessica finally spoke up. She was angry at her sister for having taken her away from her fucking precious Bruce. I could have gone with him. You know, our house is on his way. But his grandmother is sick, Jess, Elizabeth noted. I'm sure he wanted to get back to his house as soon as he could. Besides, he didn't object to our taking you. Halfway to the Wakefield house and right on cue, Todd spoke up. Oh, I hope you girls don't mind if I make a stop first. I just remembered Mr. Stillman said that Jupiter and Saturn would be visible near the moon tonight. It's so clear out. I figured I'd try to spot them.
That's
Fucking
amazing.
nailed it, Todd.
He's not like, oh, I left my wallet back at the pizza place.
I'm an amateur
we have
astronomer.
to stop so I can go look at Jupiter and Saturn.
I have to gaze at stellar bodies.
I didn't know you were interested in astronomy, Todd, Jessica said. Oh, yes. Ever since I got a telescope when I was 12, he answered quickly, coming up with the first thing that entered his mind.
Way to go, Todd.
I'm killing it. Todd took his time driving up to the top of the hill overlooking Sweet Valley. He pulled off to the side of the road about a half mile from the Miller's Point. From Miller's Point, the flat promontory. Promontory.
You got there.
The flat promontory. What's a promontory?
It's flat.
It's like
I
Miller's
know
Point.
it's flat, Chris.
It's a geographical feature.
Promontory.
A point
it
of high land that juts out into a large body of water.
Yes.
Oh,
A headland.
A promontory.
Yes, I was going to say that it jutted out. I didn't know it necessarily had to be high, but yes, it's like
It's high and it juts over water.
high jut.
High jets. It's got high jets.
What are you doing this weekend? I'm just jutting.
I'm gonna head out to the high juts.
Jut up high.
You're a real promontory.
The flat promontory that served as a local necking spot. Ooh.
Oh.
The night sky was crystal clear. You could see Jupiter and Saturn, and they were able to see the twinkling lights of the entire valley below
Are
them.
you all right?
No, in the sky above and to the
He still
left.
hasn't recovered from Winston.
Yeah.
I'm still hurting from that.
That really took a toll.
In the sky above and to the left was a creamy slice of half moon. What? Sorry, just.
You never see the creamy slice of half moon, man? Like,
We all see it all the time.
Go outside at night and you're
constantly.
like, that's one creamy slice
Oh,
of moon.
fuck, that moon is creamy.
Just like smoke a bunch of LSD and then look up at that creamy moon.
Do you smoke LSD?
I don't know if I've ever done it.
You drop
All
it.
right, now I have to Google how to take LSD.
You
Take
go
a
to,
six-pack
You
and
gotta-
see a rainbow.
don't you? Yeah, go to the promontory and smoke some LSD and check out Jupiter and Saturn next to
No,
the
you
cream
wouldn't.
moon.
You wouldn't smoke LSD. You would put like a little piece of paper on
Yeah,
your
don't
tongue.
you
and-
like
Isn't
lick
that
it?
acid? Oh, acid is LSD. God damn it,
Yes, it
guys!
is.
I haven't done it.
Well, let's
I've
stop this
heard
podcast right
good
now and go
things.
do LSD.
Under the tongue, it
Stop.
says.
Let's stop now. We'll all drop some acid. and we'll
I've
come
heard
back.
nothing
And we'll
but
go
good
look for
things.
Saturn.
Okay, but there was nothing that could pass for Jupiter and Saturn. I'm getting bored, Jessica told Todd after 5 minutes of sky watching. Just give me a few minutes. I know they're up there somewhere. I know for a fact Jupiter and Saturn are up there somewhere.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But
What a
by-
mensch. You know,
Man.
like, what a great job this guy does.
he's the MVP of this book. 5
He's
minutes.
just like, I'm dating this chick. Her twin is psychotic.
Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can.
And when she needs my help dealing with her psychotic twin, like, I'm game.
There.
Like, I'm up for anything.
5 minutes more, and Elizabeth could see that Jessica wasn't going to take any more stalling. She urged Todd to take them home.
Well, what is she going to do about it? Walk?
Excuse me.
Ever the obliging boyfriend, Todd drove back down the hill and turned onto the street where the Wakefield girls lived. About a block from their house, Elizabeth smacked her forehead and announced, "I don't believe it! I left my keys on the table at Guido's." "I'll take you
Oh.
back," Todd offered. "Right now."
Dumbass.
"I have my keys, Liz," Jessica said. "You can get yours tomorrow." "No, someone might take them. I've got to get them now." "Well, you can drop me off first, Todd. I'm tired," Jessica declared grumpily. But Todd had already turned around and was headed back to the center of town. Jessica could only fume silently in the back seat. If Jessica's anger was merely smoldering now, the next sight that greeted her made it blaze.
Uh-oh.
Jupiter and
Saturn?
She hates them. When they returned to the restaurant, the black Porsche was parked right out front. Elizabeth's instincts had been right. "We'll be out in a minute," she told Jessica as Todd pulled in behind Bruce's car and helped her out. "Oh, look who's still here," she added. Jessica didn't need the
I was
prompting.
literally like, are they going to wait for her to see it? Because she might not.
Yeah.
She might stare at her hands the whole time, be like,
Well, obviously, it's someone else's Porsche.
It couldn't be Bruce's.
Quickly recovering from her surprise at seeing the car, she announced, "I'll come in with you." She was out of the car and marching toward Guido's before Elizabeth could say a word. As the two sisters entered the restaurant, they saw that the party was still going strong, and it looked as if they'd been the only ones to leave. Except for one person, that is, who'd also left and then returned. Obviously.
Yeah.
Only he'd brought along a visitor.
Uh-oh.
Holding court at a table with Ken and John, and their dates was Bruce, and an attractive redhead. Jessica glared at the table. For a split second, Elizabeth was afraid Jessica might have gone into shock, and immediately she regretted the drastic step she had taken to make her sister see the light.
Don't regret it.
Regret
At
nothing.
that moment, Jessica started slaughtering everyone inside the pizza place. She pulled an Uzi out of her clutch and
It was
just
just like
sprayed
the
them all
red
down.
and the siren
That's a
from
big
Kill
clutch.
Bill.
Yeah, yeah.
Bwah, 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 bwah. But Elizabeth had underestimated her twin. Jessica wasn't in shock at all. The fog she'd been enveloped in had simply lifted, and she was now standing there, looking for the first time at the real Bruce Patman. As a sly smile slowly stole
What?
over
That
her
sounded
face.
like Pac-Man. Is that why? It's Batman.
Bruce Pac-Man. Maka, 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 maka.
Yeah, he was about to say when you like break up with him, he goes, "Wee-nee-nee-nee."
As a sly smile slowly stole over her face, she mapped out the stages of her revenge.
Oh no.
Multiple.
The
Multiple.
old Jessica was back, and Bruce Patman was finally going to see her in action. I fucking called it.
Hunting accident.
Am I still going?
Yeah, do this.
All right. Chapter 14. Jessica marched up to the
It's
table.
got to be the last chapter.
Well, I see I'm not
Please.
the only one who had a mad urge for another slice of Guido's pizza. Bruce's face turned white at the mere sound of the voice. Jessica, what a pleasant surprise. I thought you'd like to meet Aline Montgomery.
I'm sorry, what?
She's a
Aline?
friend of the family. I don't know how else to pronounce that. It's A-L-I-N-E. Aline. Friend?
She's
Jessica
very well
questioned.
bred.
I'd say she looks more like a grandma to me. You did say you were going to see your grandmother, didn't you, Bruce? Yeah, he admitted, but ignoring him, Jessica turned her attention to the redhead. Hi, Grandma. I see you made a quick recovery. Must be Guida's magic pizza. She picked up the pie from the
Jessica's
table.
back.
Oh yeah.
She picked up the pie from the table and examined it closely. Who would have thought this simple pizza could turn a sickly old lady into a pretty young girl?
Ooh, she's
You're-
going
you're-
insane.
You're taking the bit a little too
she's
far.
going nuts. I love it. Go crazier.
Then she turned to
bigger
Bruce.
and crazier.
And you, poor birthday boy, you've turned so terribly pale. It looks like you could use some of Guido's miracle cure, too. Take that, Bruce Patman. Before he had a chance to react, Jessica threw the gooey mixture right in his face. And here's a little something to wash it down with. She grabbed a pitcher of soda and poured it over Bruce's head. Bruce made a grab for Jessica's hand. Hey, calm down, baby. Don't baby me, Bruce, she snapped. Don't think I'm dumb enough to have missed the point of your little act tonight. Well, I've got a surprise for you. I'm a fucking monster. We're through. As Jessica picked up another pitcher of soda from a nearby table, Bruce, in his scramble to get out of the line of fire, stumbled right into the artificial waterfall at the
I'm sorry.
back of the pizzeria.
I'm sorry. What?
They should have established that earlier.
There's a
Yeah,
water feature
we
at Guido's.
didn't know that there was a water feature.
This could have been a subplot of a different book, but instead, like, nothing happened this entire book until this point.
Yeah.
And that really upsets me. I expect more from the SVU.
The sight of Sweet Valley's most eligible senior dripping wet and covered with pizza was too much for Jessica.
Tore all her clothes off.
I was about to say. She began to giggle, and soon she was nearly doubled over with laughter. After a moment of stunned silence, the rest of the crowd joined in. It was a new experience for all of them. They'd never seen Bruce Pac-Man so humiliated by anyone.
Maka, 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 maka.
Then the ghosts came after him. Luckily, he ate a
It
giant
was like
cherry.
the end of the Frighteners.
Jessica then turned to Winston and smiled. I believe I owe you a date, she said. Let's go. Taking the startled boy by the arm, she marched him out the door toward
She's
his
just
car.
doing it for spite, and she's gonna hurt Winston again.
Excuse me for 1 second, Win, she said once they were outside. She walked right over to the black Porsche.
Kit.
I have one more bit of unfinished business to take care of. Without another word, she set about letting the air out of all four tires.
Jesus.
That takes time, too.
Yeah. That's specific.
Yeah.
20 minutes later.
Well, I mean, even if you take the cap off, the air's not gonna just pour
when she
out.
just like pull out a
You'd
butterfly
have
knife.
to,
You
I know.
need
Did
like
she
a-
stab them all? Did
You
she
need like a
slash them?
screwdriver to push down the thing that lets
Right.
it.
Yeah. She's like, hang on a second, Wen. Hang on.
Hold on, I need to grab my purse knife.
As the sun set on another day in Sweet Valley. Winston didn't move a step to stop her. Winston didn't make a move to stop her, delighted that Bruce was finally getting just what he deserved. Back in Guido's, after the excitement had died down, Todd and Elizabeth had taken some empty seats next to Robin.
Why did they stay?
Right? Is Bruce
Shaking his
still
head.
there? Like,
He's just waving his
he's
arms
just
and
like,
legs around.
oh!
Just flailing around that fountain.
I can't
Glub,
swim!
glub, 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 glub. I can't swim.
He
Shaking
keeps
his
slipping
head,
on
Todd
like pieces of pizza and falling back into the water feature.
he goes on
Every
for
time
hours.
he gets up, he falls back.
Whoa,
into
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
waterfall.
whoa, whoa.
It's like that Mr. Show sketch.
Yeah, it's the Mount Everest thing all over
Yeah, right.
again.
But if it's humiliating and it's the 80s, at some point his pants fall down and he's wearing boxer shorts that have hearts on them.
Hearts on
That's
them,
the
yeah.
ultimate humiliation in the 80s. Todd, shaking his head, Todd remarked, "I'll bet anything she won't even thank you for this." Elizabeth shrugged, unconcerned.
It doesn't matter, Todd. What's important is that the old Jessica is back, and that she had enough sense to throw Bruce Pac-Man out of her life. That's thanks enough for me.
No.
Whoa.
Liz.
Excuse me, Liz. Robin interrupted hesitantly. I don't mean to be a pain, but I guess he could do like the evangelist voice too. I don't mean to be a pain, but
Sure, Robin. What's up?
I was just wondering. The Pi Beta Alpha meeting is coming up this week. Oh, and I wanted to know if you were going.
I doubt it.
Elizabeth said.
I haven't been to a meeting in ages. Matter of fact, I'd forgotten all about it. What's going on?
There's fraternities and
Elizabeth in
sororities
the
in a high
sorority?
school.
I didn't think she was. I don't know.
Gee, that's too bad. Elizabeth looked at Robin questioningly.
Why should it matter to you if I'm at the meeting?
Oh, I know you.
Mr. Happy.
Oh, I know you don't think Jessica's been a very good friend to me, but this meeting will prove just how much of a friend she is. Oh, how? She's going to put my name up for membership. Elizabeth raised an eyebrow. Are you sure? Robin smiled mysteriously. Oh, she promised. And it's one promise I know she's going to keep. Oh! Elizabeth wished Robin wouldn't put so much faith in Jessica, because she knows her. Back to her old self. She was willing to bet anything that her sister had no intention of keeping that promise. More times than she could remember, Jessica had told her how the chubby girl did not fit in with the sleek PBA image. Ugh. Why would she do a complete about-face now and push for her membership? Elizabeth couldn't come up with a reason, and she could only figure that Jessica would conveniently forget until long after the meeting had passed, at which point she would be filled with apologies that would do Robin little good. But Robin didn't need Jessica to pledge, Elizabeth realized, and then and there she made a decision. I think I'll be at that meeting after all, she told Robin. She'd be there to pick up the pieces if Jessica let down her friend. She'd nominate Robin for membership, and there would be nothing Jessica could do to stop her. It would probably throw the club and Jessica into an absolute uproar.
Lucky Robin.
But they all deserved the pressure, Elizabeth told herself, not realizing the chaos she was about to create. Can Liz outwit her scheming twin and make Robin a Pi Beta? Find out in Sweet Valley High number 4, Power Play.
I was waiting for that because I saw it at the end of the page. And it made me
I think
so
I think we
happy.
all saw that and we all pictured it in John's voice. We all knew that was coming. No,
Yeah.
poor Robin. I mean, like she's
Right.
basically a pawn. She's just like
I absolutely don't want to read that next book. Because that whole next
Well,
book's
it's
just...
all going to be about the fucking sorority.
Yeah.
Pi Betas.
Which high schools do not like,
they don't
if
have-
there's a listener that wants to let us know that high schools do have sororities, don't. Because
We don't care.
How would they do it anyway?
we don't care. We're not reading the next test for you.
Figure out some way. Find us and talk to us.
Wow.
Carrier pigeon?
So, oops. Fine, everything's fine.
So how do you guys think that worked out?
Oh God.
Like, I want to see Jessica, like, destroy him.
Wait. So
Destroy
Like,
him.
Bruce.
Bruce Patman.
I
Because,
want
like,
to see
he
someone
wronged
destroy
her.
Jessica.
Same. Jessica.
She got her pizza and soda revenge.
Yeah, but like I want to see her like ruin his life and get him jailed or like some shit. Like use your powers for good. He's a shithead. Destroy him.
he won't go to
You're
jail.
more than capable of.
He's rich.
His parents are rich.
His parents are rich. He won't go to jail. So also,
But
like,
I don't think his parents ever saw Jessica Wakefield coming. Like that's
No.
everyone
no one
underestimates
sees
her.
Jessica Wakefield.
No one.
coming.
Yeah. No one's ready for Jessica Wakefield.
Like I feel like she'll cut his Achilles tendons.
She'll, like, hide
while
under
he's
his bed.
asleep, or like some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just. I feel like there's something under my bed, and it's Jessica fucking Wakefield.
She could definitely get a job as an adult at like CIA or something. It's just
As
like
much of a force of nature
not
as she was in the earlier books, like I think a part of the reason this book was a slog is that she was very much like, oh, I just love Bruce, and then even at the end, all she did was pour soda on him and throw a pizza at him. Like, come on, Jessica.
Well, she got everyone
be
to
your
laugh
true
at him,
self.
Yeah.
so that was something. Like humiliating him in front of all of his classmates was more than.
I want
having
her to
pizza
chop
thrown at
off his dick.
him. All right.
I mean, honestly, this is very in
Hey,
keeping
power
with
play,
the
maybe.
with the other books
Maybe
because
she does.
like the comeuppance happens literally in the last chapter. Because it was the first book where like Jessica was in the dunk tank, got
Or
dunked.
they dump her in a pool or something.
Yeah, she got like yeah, she
Like
got
that
dunked in a
was
pool.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that was
because they
it.
thought she was Elizabeth.
Yeah. And I don't remember what happened in the last one. Nothing. I mean, like, basically, yeah. there's a conundrum, a conflict for a 90% of the book. And then in
I
the
just
last
want
chapter,
a-
it's like, that's resolved.
I just want a soft reboot of the series where Jessica is a serial killer and Elizabeth works for the FBI and she's hunting her down.
So you're just describing Hannibal, but at Sweet Valley High?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're twins and then like some people think like, oh well maybe Elizabeth is the killer because Jessica's like that good at manipulating.
No one ever sees them in the same
And
place.
but no, and then she catches her in the end. She gets her comeuppance.
What was the movie that had the vestigial twin that lived in the back of the person's body and
Malignant.
Malignant.
Yeah.
It needs to be like that.
When that started happening and the face started coming out of the back of the head, I just kept going, I'm malignant.
I'm malignant.
I fucking hated that movie. People love it. I don't get it.
It's weird that people are willing to give it so much credit
Yeah.
for being like meta and
That's what I
smart
think.
when it's like I do think there was some self-awareness, but I don't think it was as across the board self-aware. I think it's one of those things where people can after the fact say like, yeah, we meant it to be funny.
Exactly.
Isn't
Everything.
it obvious in the beginning of the movie that the killer's arms bend the wrong
Yeah,
way?
you can tell.
yeah.
Someone like
we
chopping their arms backwards.
we did not know the twist, and we both figured it out pretty. I don't remember which one of us was the first one to say.
I think it was me.
Was it you? I think it was you. But even
That just
probably
looks
Bekah.
like a
You're dumb
backwards.
as shit.
but even before you were like, it's her backwards.
Yeah.
Or I think you were just like, what if it's her backwards? I'm like, oh my god, that's what it is. But like even before that, yeah, when you saw them running, I'm just like, that just looks like a backwards person. And yeah,
Yeah.
we're just like, we figured it out quickly, and that it threw the rest of the movie into a dumb tailspin. And then yeah, it bothered me after the fact when people are like, well, that was the point actually. It was supposed to be like a crazy like 90s horror movie. I'm like, fuck yourself. No.
Also, it's just like of all the things to emulate, that's not the thing to emulate.
Also, that is what I agree with. Oh boy. Anyway, Anyway,
Well, we killed another one.
we sure did.
Thank you, podcast garbage man.
Thank you.
Anytime,
Yeah.
kids.
John, what did you think?
I don't know. You know, I'm the podcast garbage man fixer. I come out, I help out with something like this, and then I crawl back into my little tunnel, and I go help somebody else finish up a podcast.
You crawl
But
back
I'm always
into your,
here. I'm always here. Just remember,
Well,
if
see,
you
I was
ever
just
need
gonna-
help,
yeah.
just ring a special bell.
You crawl back
and
into
I'll
your,
come a-running.
your tunnel and use your real voice.
Which is this?
Oh, goodness.
Sounds
Yeah,
just like
well,
Elizabeth.
It became less goblin and more like, I'm a witch.
Yeah.
I'm a scary witch.
I have warts and a long nose.
Well, these books are definitely less fun than I thought they would be. Because
Agreed.
I just honestly get so upset at how fucking horrible Jessica is.
Agreed.
And how gaslit and manipulated Elizabeth is. It's hard to find joy in it.
It gets less
like,
fun.
It's hard to find any joy in it.
I think the word we're looking for is diminishing returns. These Sweet Valley books are 100%. Yeah, I'm having less fun each time we read one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we will not experience the sunk cost fallacy of continuing.
absolutely not. No, I'll
Very good.
chop that right off at the ankles.
Unless we ask, like, Christine, and she's like, no, the next one's great, and then, of course, we'll read it.
See, I'd be willing
Number
to
4
like,
is where it really picks up.
I would
Power
be
play.
willing to
The
either
sorority drama.
jump way ahead in the Sweet Valley timeline into like a later Sweet Valley High, or
Oh,
I would
or the college
I would
ones.
even say like we could do a college one when they're in college and just like kind of do the Animorphs thing we've done where like it doesn't matter where we're
Yeah, just jump into
Just
a
jump
random
right
one,
in.
not know what the hell's going on.
because there's this high school books, then there's college books, and then there's books of them as adults. So I think the next time we revisit Jessica and Elizabeth Wakefield, I think they're going to be in college. We're going to see what happens, and then go from there, and then
I'm just waiting for Netflix to make a series,
yeah, and then cancel it.
because most of the other shit we read, Netflix has turned into a show.
Yeah, and then canceled it.
You think they're going to get to the point where they're doing like assisted
What?
living?
I just Googled craziest Sweet Valley book, and I found an article of 12 of the Sweet Valley High's books' most ridiculous plot lines.
Oh man,
The first one listed is called Crash Landing. It's number 20, and it says Elizabeth's best friend is paralyzed in a plane crash, then is quickly unparalyzed.
what?
Oh,
Huh?
it's Enid.
Oh, Enid, who has not shown up at all in this book.
Jessica joins a cult.
Oh my god.
What?
Is it called Jessicaology?
Holy
Does she end
fuck.
up in charge of the cult?
Did they run out of ideas real quick?
What?
I said, did they run out of ideas real quick?
I heard you, but I don't understand the question.
Like,
How does
is the
that
shit
book
that you're
not
reading so
end?
crazy that they ran out of ideas writing
I
these books?
I don't know.
But
I
how
feel
does
like
the
they
cult
had too
one-
many ideas.
Ah.
How does the cult one not end with Jessica in charge of the whole thing?
Twist, it does.
Jessica spikes Elizabeth's punch at prom. Liz drives drunk, crashes, and kills Jessica's boyfriend.
What?
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Holy shit.
Liz
What?
has to go on trial.
What?
Are you telling me Sweet Valley High becomes a legal drama? Because
Are you
I
telling
am
me
here for
that
it?
we have to read that book and I have to be here for the whole book?
There are so many
I'm
other
okay with
fuck,
that.
There are so many other better ones.
Liz kills a guy.
A doppelganger plots to murder Elizabeth and take over her life.
Is the doppelganger Jessica?
Her name's Margot.
Doesn't she already have a doppelganger?
Fake name.
Oh, oh my god, the next one says that crazy doppelganger has a twin who is also crazy.
Get
Holy
the
fuck,
absolute fuck out of
I
town.
can't keep looking
Oh,
at them.
this is-
I'm so mad now. We probably read the 3 most boring fucking books.
And here we are, so full of hubris, reading the first Sweet Valley High, like nothing could
Yeah,
get
we should have
crazier
started
than this.
in the like 90s because that's
To
what
be
she
fair,
was
that
at.
first book was insane.
It was insane. Okay, all right, okay. Maybe the next one we read
all right,
isn't.
all right,
Isn't,
okay.
Maybe it's one of those. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's crazy.
Can't believe she kills somebody.
I can't. Literally, I can't get over that she kills somebody. that's some dark shit. That's some shit you don't walk away from. That's the type of thing you could be like 100 books after that. They could be like, and she's still troubled by the time
she's
she
still a murderer.
killed. She's still a murderer.
Well, that's the difference between Elizabeth and Jessica. Jessica could kill someone with a car and not feel a goddamn thing.
She might already
Elizabeth would carry that guilt for the rest of her life.
Be haunted.
What are you reading? Becca's reacting so much.
I have to read more of the plot to be able to. I'm sorry, this is very bad radio.
It's okay. We can vamp. We've been vamping.
Vamp.
Well, while
thought we
she's
started
figuring
vamping 2
out
hours
what
ago.
Vamp,
is crazy, John,
vamp.
what would you like
vamp,
listeners
vamp.
to know about? You've got some stuff that they can listen to.
Yes, you can hear me almost every week on the podcast Movie Schmovie, where I talk about movies and TV shows with my friends Ronald James and Steve Ritter. And then you can hear podcasts that I produce and edit and make with people like Jonathan and Bekah on them sometimes, and hopefully Chris in the future as well. But like those are all under the FYIZ podcast feed. There's a lot of shows, but they're all on one feed. So just look for FYIZ wherever you get your podcasts. I'll recommend some kind of app, maybe a good place to look for them. And then lastly, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GianniDubya. That's GianniDubya, because that's the best place just to know. I'll announce things that are going on, such as like music I'm putting out and, podcasts when they're new and all that kind of stuff. So that's how you find me.
Chris, what about you?
Well, we have another show called The Sketchy Show, where it is me, Jonathan, and John, and sometimes Bekah, doing really, really stupid audio sketches that we like, and hopefully other people like it, and we improvise them, and then Jonathan edits them into something that makes some sort of sense. And yeah, that's the only other thing I have.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say it sounds good.
Oh,
doesn't
no,
always
it's
make
amazing.
sense.
It's amazing. If you ever asked yourself, I really wish the people that did Below Grade Level did old-timey radio serials, then yes, check out The Sketchy Show.
We got a great news for you. Bekah, what did you learn?
I don't even want to tell you because now I just want to read it.
All right.
Tell us.
Just jump right to that
It's
book.
fucking out of control.
Cliffhanger.
Give us a tease, yeah.
Yeah. Give us
There's a spa involved.
a what?
A spa.
A spa.
Oh. Does Jessica, drown someone in a hot tub?
No. You'll
Or a
never guess
sauna.
in a million years what
Attack
what
of the
is
Mud
happening.
People that come out
No.
of like the mud bat? No. All right.
If one of you guesses it, I will shit
Elizabeth
myself, but you
kills
won't.
another person in a
Well,
spa.
now I want to guess it.
There's a
Is it like an
spa
alien
involved?
Hold on.
brainwashing
The-
cult kind of situation?
There's a spa involved with the Wakefield
Tiny
twins.
bit, but not really. Actually, John got the closest so far.
Alien.
There
Wait,
is
what did he
there's
say? I wasn't
hypnotism
listening.
involved.
I said
Wait.
alien brainwashing cult is what I
You
said.
were close with brainwashing.
Does
Hypnotism.
Jessica hypnotize Elizabeth into believing she's Jessica?
No,
Is it cultural appropriation?
I don't think so. No.
Ah, damn.
You just
Why
love
are you
some
upset
cultural
about that?
Because that would be awful and horrible to read in like a
Why
fun
would
way.
you think it would be that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because he's dumb.
Well,
He's a good guy,
like,
but he's
anything
dumb.
you want the listeners to know about?
No, I got nothing. I got nothing going on upstairs right now.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening to this Sweet Valley High Wrap 'em Ups episode. Join us next time. I don't know what we're going to read. It's going to be a surprise because that's what we do
We
now.
have to read this
Yeah.
fucking book next, or I'm gonna lose my mind.
Is it Sweet Valley? I
It's like
don't want to read another Sweet Valley.
It's Sweet Valley Spa.
Is it-
it's something. It's
Spa Valley?
It's called Super Thriller number 8.
Wait, what?
What?
Hold on, I need to take a screenshot. It's like a spin-off series kind of thing, apparently.
All right. Well, we'll put that on the list.
Sort of like Baywatch Nights, but it's
Yeah.
One of my favorite references of all time. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening. Come back next time. Whoever we have as our guest.
Oh, that listener is going to be so upset they never hear your favorite reference of all time. If you're just ending the episode, you're just going to tell us after we stop recording. Whatever our listeners are, there might be 3 of them. They're going to be so upset you do not say your favorite reference of all time.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
I
You
think
just
he was
said
saying
one of my
Baywatch
favorite-
Nights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Baywatch
and then you
Nights.
said one of my favorite references of all time, and then you just started going into the end of the show. You didn't say,
John.
"Oh, I just
Oh
got
my
it.
God!
I just got it."
Do I have
I'm
to
an
cut that
idiot.
out?
What
No, I
just
say leave it
happened?
in. I just
Oh
got
my
that
God!
you
I'm
were
trying
saying
to
what
end
he
the
said
show. Thank
was
you for
one of your
listening.
favorite references of all time. I
Oh, no.
thought you were going to bring up a whole other thing.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
it's okay.
Thank you for listening.
We've been drinking.
We love you.
We love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.
Look the same at Sweet Valley.